morning and welcome once again to another little film in the series Percy's Progress. Well, as you can see, we're still working in the garden and we're still in the middle of the lockdown, and it actually looks like we could be going for another 3 weeks yet. So I've had to come up with some pretty novel ideas as to carry on with his training, and we're still concentrating on his steadiness at the moment. You probably also noticed today I've got Ted out, who's my other cocker, and if you're a regular viewer to the channel, you will see that he's the star of the Training with Ted videos. Ted's a pretty good little dog for helping me out with these kind of things with Percy's steadiness. He's a nice level-headed little dog. So what I've been doing now is just trying to increase the difficulty and the temptation with Percy and his retrieves. I actually could end up working him with another dog, ideally with Ted. So he's got to get used to watching another dog go out for a retrieve, sit nice and steady when a dog comes back with the retrieve. And this is obviously a massive temptation for a little dog like him. So what I've been doing is working in the garden, working with both of them. To start with, I kept Percy on the lead, but he's got to the stage now where he really doesn't need to. He's quite happy to sit next to us like this. So my training program with him really is not to let him have too many retrieves. I'm sending Ted for quite a lot. And initially what I did is sat them both up next to me like this. Percy's laying down, I'm really not worried about that. We're using fur balls because it's a good temptation. Wait, give him that command like we've done in all the previous videos. Wait. Now, Ted's nice and steady anyway. And what I've been doing is actually sending by their name, because if I use the command that I've been using, they're liable to both go, and that's not so good. So I'm just going to send Ted to start with. But I'm going to watch Percy to make sure he doesn't move. My foot's ready to block him. Ted. Now he's obviously got up a little bit key. Now this is a key point, is when the dog comes back. I don't want him grabbing that off of him. Good boy. And that's a massive temptation, that. Good lad. I mean, these two are the best of buddies, and they play a lot indoors. There's a lot of tussle, a lot of play fighting. So it's a big temptation for Percy not to try and grab that retrieve off of him. So he sat quite nicely to Ted coming back with that. There was no effort for him to try and grab this ball off of him. And that's because I've taught him that leave it command, and he's got a bit of respect for the older dog. But this time I'm actually going to send Percy for the ball this time. And I don't want him parading around, showing off that he's got something in his mouth. I want him to go out and I want him to come straight back. I'm not worried about Ted. Ted's not going to try and grab it off of him or anything. I appreciate not everybody's going to have a nice steady little dog to do this kind of training with, but if you've got a friend that's got another dog that can control that for you, then at some point when you can get out and practice this, it's a well worth exercise. So wait there. Just taking my time with it. I'm not going to rush this. Percy. Here. Here. I don't want him messing about. Good boy. Good lad. Good. Now that was nice. He came back to me. He didn't want to go around in front of Ted to show that off. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Good boy. So in that previous exercise, I obviously had quite close control over what was going on. When I was sending Ted, Percy was right next to me. And when he was coming back to deliver that, I was able to kind of segregate him off from the older dog. So my next stage now really is going to be creating even more temptation for him, and this is where your foundation work really has to come into play. If you haven't got that sit, that weight, that steadiness of the dummy being thrown, you're really not going to be able to move on to something like this. And again, I really believe in training for the kind of scenarios that I'm going to get in the shooting field, and quite often dogs will be working out, they get a flush, something gets shot, another dog gets sent for the retrieve, so they've got to learn to sit there and wait while another dog goes past them, comes back with a retrieve, and they've got to learn to be steady and sit there. What I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to pop Percy on the lead for this, because sometimes it can be a bit confusing if I'm telling one dog to stay at the moment and call another one. That'll be another exercise that I should do a bit later, but just to prevent any kind of confusion going on and then me having to get onto the little dog, we just make it nice and easy. Ted, stay there. Percy. We're just going to sit Percy up here. Sit. Good boy. Wait. So this is again where that wait command comes in really important. You've got to make sure you get that into him very solidly. And again, in the previous video, we started throwing balls over the top of his head, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. Leave it. Wait. I'm just going to emphasize that wait command. Wait. Ted. Nice. Stay there, wait. Ted, heel. Sit. Now that was my fault then, because I told Ted to come into heel, and he thought he was going to come in as well. Sit. Just going to go the other side this time. Leave it. Just going to mix it up a little bit actually. Percy. Yeah. Good boy, here. Now remember what I said last time. If you can stop them getting the dummy, that's good. Once they've got the dummy in the mouth, you've got to let them get it back. Sit. Good boy. Now I'm not going to let him have that. Ted. Good boy. Didn't have to grab hold of him, just a verbal chastisement stopped him in his tracks then. So I'm just going to repeat that and just see if we can get that right. Ted, stay there. Percy, Percy, Percy. Ted, sit. Ted, sit. Stay there. Percy, Percy. St. So my aim is to call Percy back into me, sit him up, and then send Ted. Leave it. Percy. Sit. Sit. Leave it. Ted. Good, that's better. Good. Again, I want him to ignore. Little verbal there, just as he just thought we'd just have a little nibble of that, didn't you? Good boy. Good boy. Good. So, you don't have to be hard on these little dogs. If you... Percy, here, sit. You don't have to be hard on them. Just a verbal chastisement then actually corrected him from running out like that. Far better the second time. Good, I'm happy with that. Good boys. So I'm always trying to increase the difficulty and the temptation. And this next stage is something I've not done a lot of, so it could go terribly wrong. But again, I'm always training for those shoot day scenarios. So basically what I'm going to do with this is sit the two little dogs out there and send Ted by his name, but obviously from a distance. Now that's a massive temptation for young Percy there, because I've not got a direct control over him, and the movement's going to come directly from the side of him. I've not done a lot of this is still kind of early days with him, but I just wanted to show you the kind of progression that I'm aiming for. I'm just going to pop him on the lead because he's actually got a little bit sticky coming away. It's not the most exciting of exercises for him. Ted. Sit, Ted, here, sit. Sit, Percy, sit. I'm just going to pull him up there, sit. Sit, good boys. Wait. Again, the importance of that little wait command. Leave it. Now, I'm not worried about the older dog. I know he's going to be all right. So I'm keeping my eye totally on Percy. Leave it. See him looking away there now. I'm just leave it. Leave it. Ted. That was nice. Really nice. Good boy. Ted, here. Ted. Sit. Sit. Okay, right, I'm really going to push my luck now. Wait. Percy, Percy. Now he's got to come back past the older dog now. Oh, that's nice. Here, good lad. Good boy. What a clever little man. Good. Now that's not bad for 8.5 months. This is a really restricted little exercise for him. Good boy. Good lad. Sit. I'm just going to try one last little exercise. I'm going to leave the older dog there. Sit. I want him sat down. Leave it. Percy. Past the older dog. Straight back, no messing about. Good boy, yes. Sit. Sit. Wait. Leave it. And just to finish off, I'm just going to, he's had 2 on the trot now, so I'm just going to get ready to block him. And Ted, Ted. Sit. Good boys, well done. Here, here. Sit. Sit. Good. So, that's where we are at the moment. He's obviously thinking it's going to be great fun now. I want him back here. Percy. Percy. Sit. Sit. Wait there. Despite being kind of put under a lot of restrictions there, you can see that the little dog's still really enjoying himself. Sit. Tail's still wagging. No, it's good fun. That was a good piece of progress. And perhaps give it a week or so and then we'll come back and show you where we are again. Good boys. Well done.